back. We were live on the Sota stream. We were joined by Kevin Falness of the Minnesota Wild Radio Network. How is it going today?
You know what? It's a lot like yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. The only thing that changes is the day of the week. Really, everything's about the same here.
Yeah, right. Especially in this whole quarantine. I want to mention. We were just mentioning right before we went live here. We talked with Anthony LaPanta earlier today, and obviously over on Fox Sports North, the play-by-play guy there for Wild.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's really heard of him. But he had mentioned that you keep asking him to go over to his house for dinner, but he won't let you. He said you don't have high enough standards. So tell us about this feud.
Yeah. You know, the problem is he's TV time radio, so basically in his mind, and maybe it's true, he's up here and I'm down here, like below the servants that make most of the food that he claims is his, and the people that wax and shine his nice shiny grill. I'm below those people in his mind. So, and that's fine. I have been waiting for that invite for decades, and that's fine. It would appear that I'm going to continue to wait for that invite. I keep asking Gort, can I be your plus one? And he won't fall for it because he's afraid that he'll get banished from the list then if he asks me over. So it's fine. I'll just sit here with the peasants of St. Louis Park and as he enjoys the Johnny.
You're just going to have to sneak in with Gort. You're just going to have to show up with Gorg one day and just go in and be like, come on, man. Just come on, one night. Just come on.
There's going to be a time where I'm going to figure out a way to sneak in there. But, you know, he's probably the kind of guy that knows karate or something. So I risk bodily harm because my guess is he'll take it out on me and I'll walk out of there in a body bag. And I don't need that trouble at the age of 59.
Well, one thing LaPanta mentioned was that radio guys aren't as good as TV guys. In fact, he said radio killed the radio star. What is your rebuttal to that statement?
Fact. It's a fact. You know, there's no reason to even fight it at this point, but that's fine. I know my lot in life. I know that I'm below bloggers at this point, and that's fine. Radio, bloggers, and then way up there in the stratosphere, you've got TV guys looking down upon creation. And I've come to accept that a long time ago. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because, I mean, that was a lot to take in from LaPanta. He was going after you. He's like, Falness, yep, he doesn't have high enough standards. Nope. I'm like, okay, well, we got him on. He's like, oh, yeah, ask him about it. I don't care. We're like, okay.
You know, it's a lot like Russo. I like to poke the bear. And I think these guys don't actually hate me.
No,
but
I
they
know.
pretend to.
Yeah.
And I like to poke the bear a little bit, too. So every chance I get to talk, his cool giant steak that he's grilling for an army of 24 on his cool grill that this time didn't get smashed by a tree. I'm going to bring that up every chance I get. But it is all in fun. These guys are phenomenal, and they've got a great sense of humor, and I'm their punching bag, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, what I know that we brought up a tweet, though, like that LaPanta put out where he had, like, the toilet grill. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. He's apparently one of his people put that together for him because he's pretty creative, but I don't know if he's quite to that level.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say that was pretty neat, a neat invention. You had a grill over like the toilet seat, then you had ice in the back, and with
that's
like,
my grill.
Oh, there you go.
It's covered up, but half of it's propane, half of it is charcoal, and I love that fact because if it's got to be fast, I can light up the propane and it's done in minutes. If I can chill out, have and relax, then I can fire up the charcoal. So that's my favorite thing ever. So as much as he says I grill over the toilet bowl, my evolution is a little bit beyond that, just a little bit.
Well, you got to get LaPanta over to prove yourself.
I don't think he'd accept the invite. Maybe I will invite. You know what? I'll invite Gord, Greenley, Carter, Mike Goldberg, and then LaPanta will be like 8th on that list. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, hey, with all the stay-at-home orders and stuff going on due to COVID-19, I mean, what have you been doing to keep busy without Wild games? Are you golfing? Are you creating content? Or are you just going mad?
I'll tell you, I've got 3 little boys. I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and my wife works a full-time job, albeit she's working from home. But I become the stay-at-home teacher for these guys and their distance learning. Mm-hmm. So that's twofold. One, we're really busy with that stuff. And 2, my kids are really screwed. They don't have a chance in this world. And they can't wait to get back to their buddies and their teachers and the people that actually know what they're doing. But that's pretty much what our day is consumed of. I put together a schedule where They eat breakfast at 8:30. School starts at 9. We throw a couple of breaks in there throughout the day, and we just work through assignments. And it's weird because I've got, each of them on different iPads, different electronic devices, and they've all got their assignments. But I'm working the kindergartner while I talk to the second grader, and the fourth grader's doing his thing. And I'm learning math. I'm learning, remedial, Espanol, and fractions. I mean, there's stuff, word problems again. I haven't dealt with math problems in probably 3 decades, and here I am trying to work the second grader through his math problems. So we're getting through it. It definitely hasn't been boring, but it's been a different kind of busy than I'm used to, for sure.
Yeah, you got to find the positives in it. I mean, you're learning math again. You're getting your brain going. I mean, there is.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
there are positives. Me learning anything isn't part of it, but we're getting, and I'm sure everybody's kind of saying the same thing. What has been dropped in our lap in a really unconventional way is an unbelievable amount of family time. I mean, almost to the point it's too much, which you never thought would be possible. But especially for me during this time of year, I don't travel like Anthony does, but I'm still around the game continually. If there's a game going on, I'm at the XL Energy Center. I'm in my studio. I'm gearing up towards the next broadcast. I'm getting ready for the next whatever it is that I'm doing. And right now, all of that's gone. So it's been a ton of family time. It's been a ton of, at-home stuff. And it's been, great to catch up on little projects. All that said, it's been great. And I know that this is something that we probably will never have again. Hopefully, knock on whatever this is made of. But it's been a really cool thing to be able to be with a family on a 24/7 basis for this period of time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going back now to like when we actually had hockey, on Wild broadcasts for the Wild Radio Network, everybody knows of, obviously Bob Kurtz is the main play-by-play guy, but you have definitely stepped in and filled in that role as well a couple times to be the play-by-play guy. What was that experience, stepping into that main seat, being the voice of the Wild? And I know it's not an easy gig to announce hockey, so I mean, how was that?
No, yeah, it's cool. It's probably my lifelong dream, and over the course, I've been in the Wilds for now 20 years. I've probably done, I don't know, a couple dozen games, and some of them are planned, some of them aren't. Like I'm the last line of defense if Bob Stubbs is told. Like just a quick story. A couple of years ago, he's sitting up there, and I'm going through my pregame spiel, and he kind of looks a little bit under the weather. And I don't think much of it because he's a fighter, man. He's gonna gut through it if he can.
Yep.
So we get in. I throw to them. We go to the anthem. We come out, and Bob takes it out. All right, well, welcome back, everybody. XL Energy Center. Wild taking on the Islanders, whoever it is. Here we go. Drop of the puck, and all of a sudden he stops and he looks over at me, and he points to my microphone. I'm like, what? And he's got just this gut nosebleed, like blood just gushing out of his face. And it was just a nosebleed, but he can't go. And he basically got thrown into it's one thing to prepare to jump on the mic and do play-by-play, which isn't easy in itself. But going into recline mode once the game starts, just kind of watch the game. I have no intention of learning the New York Islanders, whoever was playing that night. It was just one of those weird kind of deals. So that's a little bit more on the extreme. This year we did a deal where we rotated, 4 guys through there, or 5 guys. PA was supposed to be one of them, and unfortunately his turn didn't come to fruition. But that's a little bit more like it, where you get a chance to study for it, be ready for it. And I had a blast. Working with Tom Reed is so easy. And to be able to have that luxury is, and again, to be working with Bob for the better part of 20 years, you couldn't ask for a better teacher. So it's been fun. It's been a blast, and I'll definitely never be a Bob Kurtz, but I'm trying to have as much fun with it as many times as I get the opportunity.
Has Bob ever offered you, or has he critiqued your play-by-play calls, or has he offered you any good advice that you've really taken to heart?
He's not that kind of guy, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like I'll ask him, and he'll say, you don't need to hear from me. Just do your job. Like he thinks he's gonna step on my toes. The only thing he's ever told me is just be yourself, and learn the numbers. You have to know the numbers, because if you look down at your sheet to call again, you're gonna get behind. And that's, it seems obvious, but it's actually really great advice, because especially with the Wild players, I can do it blindfolded. But if you get into one of those teams from the Eastern Conference that you see once a year, it's a whole different ball of wax. So it's, and then throw on top of that, going to other arenas. I love the travel part of it too. When afforded the opportunity to go to Nashville or Dallas or Colorado. But he just says, be yourself, do your thing, and trust that you know what you're doing. So he's great in that respect.
Yeah, and you were mentioning, bringing on Paul Allen. I think a lot of people were looking forward to that. But did you see any of his Did you see any of his virtual hockey calls that he did, like on NHL 20?
I saw him. Well, no, I didn't see much of those. I've heard a couple of those, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of a kind. He talks about how worried he is about doing it. I go, BS, dude. Yeah. You're going to be fine. Can I say BS?
Yeah. Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fantastic. So, Bull Durham, Paul Allen, he's going to be awesome. He's a professional. He's going to be great. I haven't seen many of those, but I'll tell you where he does his little practice thing in the booth behind us. We're down on the main level of the Al Shaver press box. You can hear him. I mean, it's a full building, 18,000 people. It's loud, but you can hear Paul Allen just spitting the practice lines while he's back there. Boom at the drop of the puck and constant boom. Stuff. Yeah. So it's I can't wait. I mean, there's a lot of things to be bummed out about this whole coronavirus garbage, but that was one thing I was definitely looking forward to, getting into March and the Winnipeg and Chicago trip, and here in PA call a couple of games.
Yeah.
Who has been your favorite player to interview over the years and why? I'd love to hear that from you.
Don't get me in trouble, but I'll say in my top 5, in no particular order, Darby, Darby Hendrickson, Wes Walls, Brian Ralston's right up there.
Yeah,
who a sneaky one, and I don't know how many people would say this, but for the Wild, it might be Anton Hudobin, because he's as colorful as a human being as there is. And he might be right up there towards the top. He's a fun guy, no question about it. And you can still see that personality. But even when he was younger, he was a little bit more loose with the way he acted and engaged with people. So he might be up there right at the top.
Did you ever get a chance to interview Ilya Bridgegolov at all when he played for the Wild?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
How did those go?
He was colorful in a different way. Yeah. Really good dude.
Yeah.
You never knew where that conversation was going. Like you could see the car and it was on, but you didn't know if there was anyone at the driver's at the wheel. It's just there's times where his wheels is spinning and he's on a whole different level than I am. So yeah, and Brizgalov was definitely one of the more colorful people we had come through that Wild locker room for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and I know you've obviously done your share of probably interviews with Bruce Boudreau. Now, obviously, he's been let go, but I mean, he was a character as well. I mean, he looked like he was a serious guy, but man, he would have some funny things to say. I mean, what was like your craziest interaction with him?
For me, he was a throwback to Jacques Lemaire, and there's nothing against anyone that's come in between Jacques and Bruce, but these guys were old school. Like Jacques Lemaire would sit there and talk with you for 2 hours after a practice just because he wanted to talk hockey. Bruce is a lot like that. Now, Mike Yeo, Todd Richards, go down the list. These are all good dudes, but they're more attuned to the game. They're more, 9 to 5, business as usual. They want to get in and out of there as fast as possible. But Bruce and Jacques, they want to chew the fat, man. They want to talk hockey. Yeah. They want to know what's going on in your life. And I just thought that they were a different breed. And that's why I think I enjoyed working with Bruce so much, is he was a throwback to Jacques.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, in my time with the Minnesota Wild, let's say I dealt with 500 people that have come through that locker room, players, coaches, personnel, whatever it might be. That guy is number one on my list. And if there's a Mount Rushmore of Minnesota Wild people, personnel, and all that stuff, Jacques Lemaire is right at the front of the line. He's a fantastic human being. And I'm sidetracked from where Bruce Boudreau. That's what I liked about Bruce Boudreau. He was a throwback to the Jacques Lemaire days, and I loved working with that guy for sure.
Who if you had to fill out the rest of your Mount Rushmore, who would it be?
Jacques Lemaire, Todd Leiweke, Bob Nagley. Those are my top 3 for sure.
Oh wow!
And then there's a handful of people that are tied for 4th on that to round out my Mount Rushmore. But for me, and Jack Sperling's right up there as well. But for me, going back to the early days, Jacques Lemaire is number 1 on the bullet. I guess he's George Washington.
Yep.
And then I guess Todd Leiweke is Teddy Roosevelt, and Bob Nagley is Thomas Jefferson. Whatever. To me, those are the 3 pillars that got this team off the ground back in the day. Bob Nagley was a superhuman guy. Todd Leiweke was the perfect person to be in that Wild front office to get this thing off the ground. He ended up leaving. I ended up following him to Seattle, long story short, during the 2005 lockout. But he was the perfect guy to get this Wild team on the map back in the day. And then Jacques Lemaire, for all the reasons I've said and the 1,000 reasons I can't name, is the perfect guy for this team back then. He might have been too good, to be honest, because, you can have that argument about where they finished all those years and how it might have been better to be worse to get drafts and all that stuff. But that being said, Jacques, Bob Nagley, Todd Leiweke, three guys that should be at the top of every Wilds fan's thank you list when it comes to the origination of this franchise.
100%, I agree with you. Do you think that we're going to see a conclusion of this NHL season, or do you think we're going to leaning more towards canceling? I know it's all up in the air. It's hard to call.
No, I know, and it's all kind of a flip the coin. If you asked me that question a month ago, I thought there was no chance. But now, reading the tea leaves, and again, I don't know anything. Nobody talks to me. I'm in St. Louis Park, and St. Paul is like a distant memory at this point. So it's all just completely gut feel for me. A month ago, I thought there was about an 80% chance it's canceled. I think now it's better than a 50-50 coin flip. It's probably a 40% chance it's canceled, 60% that we play some hockey. The way they're talking. Now, again, if there's an uptick in how this thing continues to unfold, I don't know. But if things continue to progress the way they are, I think there is a chance we play hockey. In this setup where they have 4 hubs and, St. Paul's one of them. I don't know. That seemed so far-fetched just a month ago. But now it seems like it's more and more a reality. And I'm all for it. I want to get back to playing hockey, but I want to do it in the safest way possible. I don't want to sequester myself away from my family just to go get sick. I mean, if they're going to do it, let's do it the right way. And smarter people than me will try to figure that out. And if they can do it in a way that keeps people safe while entertaining them, I'm all for it.
So you wouldn't mind calling some July or August NHL
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Honestly, I feel like I've been in summer vacation for the last 2 months, so I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. If they ask me to do something, I'm in. So, yeah, I mean, and besides, I mean, there's people's livelihoods at stake. Take me out of the equation. Other people to be take it away from their own selfish reason. I mean, there's a lot of people that hockey and pro sports touch on more than just some dumb radio guy. Yeah. So, there's a lot at stake here. But get it right. Don't hurry into it just to make a quick buck. Do it the right way, and make sure everybody's safe and healthy and wise.
Yeah, it just sucks though. I mean, just from the sports standpoint and the fan standpoint, and you being involved with pretty much every game, just to see how hot the Wild were getting there right before it just the season ended, just like that. It's like, dang it, we had something going. Fiala was getting hot. Yeah. It just sucks from the sports standpoint from a fan to see that just evaporate and just go away, at least for the time being.
No doubt about it. The frustration is real. To see Fiala, what he became compared to when he landed here from Nashville just over a year ago now, I guess it's almost a year and a half now that we talk about it. Yeah. As he was progressing and ramping up as his season went, there's no doubt it's him and Marian Gaborik head-to-head for the best game breakers in Wall Street, but he was really starting to eclipse Gaborik. I mean, for what he had become at this point, he hasn't done it on a longevity basis as Gaborik has, and 40 goals and all that stuff. But what he was doing with the puck is something we haven't seen in a Wild uniform since the days of Marian Gaborik, and it was so fun to watch. And this team was going in the right direction, and to see it all just stop with 1 point out of that playoff spot with a dozen or so games to go, it's definitely unfortunate, and it would be a shame to see that all go away. But I mean, who knows what this all looks like once they do start playing again. If you're not playing in front of fans, these guys have been off the ice for now 2 months, and that's something that probably never happens in their life, let alone in the summer and now in the middle of the season to just stop it and then have to start up and ramp up again. It's going to be crazy to watch, but I think it'll be fascinating to see how they end up doing this. If they end up doing it, I'll be an interested bystander just like everyone else.
Do you think those first few games back, we're going to see some pretty sloppy hockey?
It's going to be awful. Yeah. It's going to be like preseason. The only good thing is, and again, who knows if they end up doing this playoff thing or if they end up finishing up some of the regular season to ramp up to the postseason. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be pretty sloppy. There's very few guys that are in the Fiala world where he's overseas and actually able to skate. I don't think any of the guys here are able to skate. I mean, outside of their rollerblades and out screwing around with their kids in the front yard. So I don't know. I can't imagine what shape these guys are going to be in, but they're world-class athletes, and they've got more at their disposal than I do, so I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, because, all their facilities that they maybe hit here are closed, so, they're really restrained from, doing workouts at home, but, they got to get on the ice and warm up their legs, and that, as much as we want hockey back, whatever form that looks, whether it's like a 2014 playoff, it it probably won't look the greatest, but I know that they mentioned something about opening up maybe training camps here at middle of May, end of May, but I mean, who knows if that's going to actually happen. I don't know.
There are so many variables
Yeah.
that are up in the air that it's hard to even comprehend. I mean, the easiest way might to just say, screw it, we're done, we'll see you in September. But I know that they want to do everything they can to get on the ice and in some form or fashion finish off this current season, in some form or fashion award the Stanley Cup, and then move on to the 2020-2021 season. But I mean, there's so many variables that go into. I hope I know they do. They've got smart people in the NHL front offices, and they're dealing with a lot of smart people in the front offices around the league. They'll get it figured out. But holy smokes, I'm having problems with my second graders' math, let alone trying to figure out that stuff. So I'll leave it in their hands to get that job done.
Yeah, you almost at some point you're like, okay, I want to get back to hockey. So, but it's just a waiting game at this point. But as we're starting to wrap up here, Kevin, we're going to move on to kind of a signature segment here that we have been doing at 10,000 Takes with every guest. It's called the Rapid Fire segment, where we'll give you, so many would you rather hypothetical questions, kind of crazy. Try to give you a minute to answer. I mean, take as long as you want. I mean, whatever. But what we're gonna go for and ask you those. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. Here we go. First one is: would you rather spend the rest of your life blind or in an Olive Garden?
Oh my God! I would rather be in an Olive Garden, like the restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, who would pick blind over being? You guys don't like the Olive Garden or what?
I don't know. We've had a couple people say blind. Surprisingly,
No,
I don't know.
No, so I have to spend the rest of my life in an. Can my family visit me, or am I just stuck in an Olive Garden?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone can visit you.
Okay, I'll take vision and living in an Olive Garden. I guess.
Yeah. There you go. If you were given an all expenses paid trip to Cleveland, would you take it?
I'll take all expenses paid trip anywhere. I'll go to Cleveland. I've never been to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I've been to a few places, but never Cleveland. I've heard only terrible things.
Hey.
Who am I? I'm going to turn down an all expense paid trip. I'm not Anthony LaPanta who's traveling to Italy. I'll go to Cleveland.
Well, yeah, you should talk to Corey Provis, who does the Twins radio play-by-play. We had him on just about an hour ago. He has some good things to say about Cleveland. So
I got no problems with Cleveland, and they got no problems with me. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. All right, is it pronounced hot dish or casserole?
Hot dish. In the Falness household, it's hot dish.
Yep.
It's tater tot hot dish with a hamburger in there, cream of mushroom soup, and
sounds amazing.
We don't do vegetables because my kids don't like vegetables. They're chip off the old block. But the mainstays, it's hot dish in this household.
There you go. If a movie was made about your life, who would play you?
John Candy would be what a lot of people would say. Either John Candy or what's the guy's name that died?
Chris Farley?
They both died. Chris Farley. Yeah. I get a lot of those two. So,
nice.
Back in the day, real quick, I was at my heaviest, probably around 400 pounds, and that was a few years ago. And I got a lot of the John Candy stuff. Not as much now, thankfully. Yeah. But not that I'm svelte, but I'm definitely not 400 pounds, and I got a lot of the John Candy stuff.
There you go.
Which is a hell of a thing because he's very funny and his old stuff.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Uncle Buck.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better than
Planes,
Uncle
Trains,
Buck.
and Automobiles.
Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, man.
Is fantastic.
Great.
Every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So.
I like me. I think I'm a nice guy. Great
awesome.
line.
Yeah,
Great.
Him and Steve Martin, awesome in that movie.
Awesome
and when
movie.
he punches the clown in Uncle Buck, fantastic.
It's a great movie.
And what's the other guy? Bug or Nat? It's a good movie.
Yes. Moving on. Minneapolis or St. Paul? What city do you like better?
St. Paul. Used to be Minneapolis before the Wild took up residence there, and I spent a lot of time in those 2 decades in the city of St. Paul. And if you asked me pre-2000 Minneapolis, St. Paul, I'd say St. what?
Yeah.
Now it's 100% St. Paul.
Yep. The Wild definitely rejuvenated that city, I feel like. In self-defense, how many 5th graders could you fend off at one time? In self-defense, of course.
Got the train pass. I had to fend off. Are they coming at me just bare knuckle? Do they have weapons?
No, they're just coming at you, trying to beat you up with their hands. Bunch of 5th graders.
Yep.
5th graders with bare knuckles?
Yes.
Dozens.
There you go. Nice.
I'm not worried.
I just asked that. Would you rather wear a shirt that's kind of itchy or wear a pair of shoes with a small pebble in it?
A shoe with a small pebble in it. Yeah, I wear a lot of sandals. I've dealt with that.
Yep.
That's thing where you have to kick it out of your toe and all that.
Yeah.
To have a shoe on, that would be annoying. And if it blisters, I'm going to have a real problem with that. But I think I'd rather do that than have an itchy shirt. I'm not a big fan of itchy.
What's more realistic, ghosts or aliens?
I'm not a huge believer in either, to be perfectly honest. I'll go with aliens. How small is it to think that we're the only people in the entire existence on this little pebble of a planet?
Yeah.
So I guess I would say aliens are more believable, but I've got no interaction with aliens or ghosts.
Like Ilya Abergalov said, the universe is humongous big.
No, he said humongous.
Yeah,
He said
humongous
humongous.
big.
Yeah. All right, last question, and this might be totally obvious, but you never know. You have one sport to watch for the rest of your life. What is it?
Yeah, it's going to be hockey.
Yeah.
I can't.
Easy choice.
I like football. I like baseball. I hate basketball. But I can't imagine. Golf would be the only thing that would be up there. I do like to watch golf, and poker's probably not a sport. But if I had to rank them, hockey would be number one by far and away.
Yeah, cool. Well, coming up next, I know you know Mike Grimm really well. He's coming up next. Do you have anything to say to him that we could relay back?
He's kind of hillbilly. I'll be perfectly honest. He'll be the first one to admit it. And honestly, in working with him with the Gopher football broadcast, Daryl Thompson carries him a lot of the time.
Yeah,
so
I'll mention that.
But not, you know what? On the other hand, he carries guardsy, so it kind of works both ways.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, I'll mention that to him. Well, thanks again, Kevin, for coming on.
So much.
We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, helping us out. Make sure, guys, to donate at 10,000takesmn.com/soda-stream to make a donation. Again, Kevin, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, you guys are doing a great job. I know it's a lot of work, but wonderful job. It was great talking to you. And one sentence for Mike Grimm. Tell him, roll the boat, Sky-U-Ma. Go Gophers.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks,
Kevin.
very much.
See you
See
later.
you, boys.
Talk to you later.